Hello, and welcome to another episode of Turning Sparkly Cardboard Sideways. My name's Jimmy, Bancroft is behind the camera, and right here will be my personal phone number, 859-279-2405. If you have any questions, concerns, critiques on any deck profile or battles we post, please feel free to send me a message, or if you just want to say hi or share some of your deck tech, deck list ideas, please send me a message, and I'll try to reply as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tech and Protections. Today, I, Bancroft, am being joined by Fluff, Jimmy, and Jake today.
What's up? What's going on, y'all?
Hey everybody.
And today we're going over our second round at our tournament, which was between me and Fluff. Fluff is using the Soul Striker good blue deck. I don't know really what
Soul Striker has been
Anti-meta.
Anti-meta,
right? It's just control. It's blue control. If you want to consider that good blue, it doesn't run a lot of good blue. So, but I would anti-meta.
Yeah, and I'm playing today the Skill-Less Gohan. This was a long duel.
Yeah. So yellow does a lot of stuff that blue doesn't like. Particularly because blue doesn't have a ton of push. So in the moments that you do have the push, yellow just has stuff like Vegeta's Final Flash, Release from Evil, that just, say, nah, your push doesn't matter.
Oh, what a whiff. Forgot about that.
And particularly, you'll notice later in this duel, Soul Striker versus the Zamasu super combo makes certain things really risky. Because if I tap energy, swing with a battle card, or decide to try to do something that requires me to spend energy, and then use Zamasu super combo me before I get my leader swing, I don't get to restand that energy, which kind of defeats the purpose of this deck. So having to play around those super combos was kind of difficult.
So you play Mecha Kabora.
Yeah.
And you said 1 energy cost, higher dragon.
Yep.
Which, it's not bad. But I don't know if you remember, I could just combo from my hand and stick the draws off it anyways.
Yes. Well, okay, so let me explain this play. I was testing this tech out in this particular event. I really want to like this card, and I do actually really like this card. But turn 2 with Soul Striker, there's not a lot to do. And if you're not playing something like Reboot Gohan or AOD that can spam the field and put a ton of pressure on you turn 2, there's really not a lot that you're doing on turn 2, except maybe activating an early game Dimension Magic or a Meteor or something like that. So I wanted to give myself something to do on turn 2. Yeah. And I didn't know the best target to call. You already had the Piccolo on field. So I was like, okay, coin toss, let's call one of your Skill-Less. If you've got one of those Skill-Less in your hand, you can't play it.
Which I think that was probably a pretty good call. I learned... I was not very familiar with this deck. I played a match after our event with Baby against Gohan. And turn 2, he took me down to like 3 life on turn 2.
Yeah.
And I think that was a great call, especially with Soul Striker. Like you said, you don't really have a lot to do on that turn. So just being able to say, hey, you're not going to get at least one of your Skill-Lesses on field is really good.
And for example, like if the Piccolo would have pulled a card, boom, Skill-Less on the field. Then, when I swung an Awaken, I comboed off a Skill-Less, or I did with the Piccolo actually in this case. Combo off a Skill-Less, use the main to bring it to the field, swing of both Skill-Less. Then for 1 energy, you swing both of those to your drop to bring out the 6 drop, who can just swing again.
Yep.
And you still have 1 open energy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's all about not preventing you from making total plays, but attempting to prevent you from making the most efficient play that you can.
Yeah.
Huge unison right here.
Yeah.
Like that, this card is what makes Soul Striker what it is right now.
Absolutely. If
Absurdly good.
if Baby weren't around, then 100% my deck of choice would be Vegeta GT or Vegito starter deck.
Mhm.
But this makes Soul Striker.
100%.
What's the base power on the Meteor?
15.
He's a 15 on Meteor.
Okay, for 2, that's pretty good value.
Oh, really? I thought he was only 5K.
No, he's
No.
15.
Shit, okay, I'm mainboarding him and Baby.
Oh, hell. That's a nice
He's-
deck.
He's really good, and you know I don't run Dark Dragon Balls in this, but if you're running a deck that does run some Dark Dragon Ball engine, I think people are just overlooking him because he just straight searches a Dark Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
And so right there's the reason why I don't mind you hitting my skills. I just bring them right back. What's annoying is that I only saw, I think the entire game, 3 or 4 skillless cards.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Without giving away who won this duel, at the very end, I had like 12 cards left in my deck, and there were still 4 skillless cards in my deck.
Woof. The whole idea against this Gohan, and I hadn't really tested against your Gohan. I think I tested it with like against Gotenks or something like that. So, but I hadn't tested it with Blue. And the only thing that made sense to me is try to keep your field as clear as possible.
Which is
So you couldn't build up multiple pieces. You'd have to go a little bit out of your way to get 2 more on board to play the 6-drop. So
Yeah.
I was just trying to create as much work for you as possible, even if it wasn't long-term stopping you.
Yeah. And, I mean, as you guys saw in my duel yesterday against AOD, Joe did the exact same thing. He was playing the
Yeah.
Broly's, popping my 1-drops so they wouldn't stay on the field, making me have to constantly bring 1 back and not just constantly building the army. So you got, is that the only unison you play in your deck?
Yes, in this version of Soul Striker, that is the only one.
So I play 3 different unisons. I play 4 of the 3-drop, 2 of the Gojias, and 1 of the Mecha Kabora.
Yep.
As you can see, I found 1 of the 2-drops, and if I recall correctly, I didn't come across a single 3-drop in this duel either.
I think you did eventually board one.
Like late game.
It was very late game. Yeah,
Okay.
It was very late game.
So you
So
play,
Good blue card dot deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I
So-
play the prideful transformation on the tokens being played because it's read the exact same way as Crusher Ball is read, which
Right.
means they all tap.
And that's why it's that type of play right there that makes me believe that like people can complain about a Booney all they want to, but every color has a solution for a Booney. A Booney is not a game breaking card at this point. Like every deck has a counterplay that just instantly deals with those tokens. Even if it's just red, merciless barrage, pop 2 tokens. Like that is enough. It really gets rid of a lot of the combo power, and it's almost a wasted 4 energy at that point.
And also, we correct your unison's dice in a second. I just put the die down. I meant to
Oh,
put it
yeah.
on 1. So for
Yeah.
anyone paying attention.
It was at 5. I plus 2. That should be 7, not 8, and I notice it.
So an annoying thing is that I couldn't even if you let me keep the 4 markers on there, it's a waste of an ability
Yeah.
against Soul Striker.
that
Especially since
Well,
you have Obuni on the board.
it's truthfully a waste against most decks, unless it's like Vegeta ramp where they have 10 energy and then you activate that and they can restand 2 of 10 energy
Yeah.
or something like that. It's not that impressive. The more important part of that unison is that it helps keep itself on board if your opponent goes like extra card heavy, and then it also sets up your graveyard in particular with the Skill-Less, plus it just digs your deck.
Yeah.
That's what makes that unison good. That -4 is not a threat in, I'm going to go as large as 95% of the games.
Although it does set up the occasional kill turn.
Yes.
In those niche cases.
Yes.
And I think going back to what you said about Obuni earlier is that if he doesn't stick or gets counterplayed, he's just a wasted 4 energy. I think that's why he's so strong in Soul Striker, because you're perfectly okay with taking that risk and forcing that counterplay on turn 4.
Yeah. I remember back when Divine Multiverse was just dropping and everybody was just like, Booney's not that great, like 4 energy for that card. And then decks like Soul Striker really, really push that card just because of you can invest all of that energy, then don't gotta worry about it. You get it right back. It's no big deal.
And right there was an example, real quick. You fixed your marker, but I swung into your after image token, and you was a Zamasu and tap my leader. Which, truth be told, I'm fine with that. Obviously, I'm not seeing my 1-drop Higher Dragon, so who cares about me swinging?
but it does keep you from getting the attack draw one.
No, it doesn't. He does not have an attack draw.
Oh, I thought he was attack draw, and then if you comboed, you drew.
No, so he has activate main, draw 1 card, then play up to 1 skillless battle card from your drop to play. And then the other ones, if it's in battle and you combo with a monster, you're good. And here, I played this card. I'm like, okay, let me see your Booney. Let me see your Trunks.
Right.
And I don't think. Do you play it? You're debating about it.
Yes, I do it.
Yeah. I wanted to double check. I couldn't remember about the wording of it for some reason. I couldn't remember if it doesn't get played or not.
Yeah. Instead of being played, it's just returned.
Yeah, because I wanted to make sure I remember what that read for a future play.
Yeah.
And that was the future play. I also was baiting it out because I didn't want it to come to be here, and I used it to KO your Booney because it negates skills.
Yep.
That is an interesting tech for this yellow Gohan list. I did not expect the fusion.
It just draws so much. I figured, why not?
And also, it's an excuse to use that beautiful art.
It is. It really is.
Like that's one of the reasons that I want to play yellow, is just to play that card. I love the art on that card.
Well, and it gives so much unexpected aggro and pressure. Like, I knew that Bancroft played that card. I knew there was a chance that he was going to run it. But it's just good, and it gives this deck a little bit of that oomph that it otherwise wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like, removal for yellow is so sparse.
Did you forget to tick up your unison when you?
I do it in a second.
Okay.
I was letting Fluff finish that sentence first, but yeah, I fixed it in a second.
Yeah, you finish it.
But here's another thing: I still have not seen. So I see it next turn. The 3-drop unison. I didn't see any, but I saw both of those before any other unison in my deck.
Yep.
But yeah, so the reason why I went into, for anyone's curious about it, went into your unison with Gotenks, because you still could have a negate. You could negate my attacks just fine, but I knew if I could get your unison below 5 and make you have to use your +2 for draws, you're gonna tap out, which is, for Soul Striker, is completely fine because you just tap out and swing if your lead and restand 2 more.
I knew that I was going to have the recovery. This is the point that it made it kind of difficult for me, because what I really wanted to do here was swing with that unison. No, do I swing here?
Yeah, that was me fixing the marker though.
Yeah.
And I block on your token.
Yeah, I was really afraid of you Zamasu comboing and putting my leader in rest mode. But I wanted to swing with this unison before I tap 5, play another one.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, he's going to Zamasu something, rest mode leader, especially after I give it 15,000 double strike. So I'll just go ahead and -5. Or no, I'll go ahead and tap 5, play. And I don't put the dice here, but I am activating the -5 on this newly played baby, I believe.
Yeah.
If I don't do it this turn, I do it next turn.
Yeah,
but I think
you've already boosted your leader and everything.
Just doing it for the camera, looks like.
And you fixed it a second. I think I tell you, like, you restood your, there it is. I didn't have a Zamasu in my hand, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
When,
I was so scared of that Zamas.
So this play right here, I did that on purpose. I knew you had that obviously because you wouldn't -5 if you didn't.
Yep.
And I played the Vegeta in hopes that you would use another one from your hand because you have to discard 2 cards every time.
Yep.
Because I still had a way of dealing with that, right there.
Yep.
So I guess I did have one. I was just hanging
You
on
did
to
have
it.
one. Yeah, I knew you had one. I was very positive that you had one, but you made me dump 4 cards out of my hand because I was trying to get that baby swing out there. And that was a good play on your behalf. And that's what I was talking about, how like Zamasu makes Soul Striker play kind of weird. So I have to be very calculated. In my hand, I have a baby hatch. So I know that I'm safe from just about anything that you're going to be able to do.
Yeah.
But it just all comes down to how do I sequence to take advantage when the time is right? Because I don't have a unison, so any God Sealing technique in hand is dead. I just have to make sure to pressure you applicably, and you haven't flying nimbus, so I know there's 2 to 3 floating around your deck somewhere.
Yeah. And I think the play here is to just baby hatch the first swing, right? And take it back to your turn and try and end the game.
I'm still on a fair amount of life, and my hand was really dwindled from that baby strike. So if he's going to go into my lead, I'm going to let him do a bit of damage to me.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about him ripping out a quad strike on me or hitting me with like a triple strike crit here.
But if he were to move to clear the board, as it looks like he's doing here.
Yeah, that's my approach in this case, is to do my best to clear the board.
Yeah. So
Usually
you go
the best way to play Baby Hatch in a situation like this is let them invest energy first
yes.
into cards that they want to use to deal damage to your leader. Because otherwise, when they first swing, you drop Baby Hatch, then they're just going to invest all of their energy into using cards to KO your field and clear that out.
Or just they just instantly pass with 5
Yeah.
open energy, and then you can't get the win in. So like Baby Hatch is not a helmet like instantly negate. I've got to wait for him to invest energy and feel like he's going to make an applicable push in the game.
Yeah. And the reason why I chose, once again, I didn't do the -4. I get rid of the unison this turn, I think. But I didn't do the -4 because, okay, cool, you're going to reset 2 energy, charge 1. You'll still have 5 energy.
Yeah.
I mean...
I still think you should have, especially if you were going to play the Shenron. You should have done it well, you opted to do the draws, didn't you? Like
Yeah.
the discard 2, draw 2. Yeah, that's probably better in this.
And I also warped to get 2 more draws. Like I'm not seeing what I wanted to see this entire duel, and it's been very frustrating.
Yeah, you were having to dig really hard to find that Shenron unison.
Maybe I don't get it this turn. I don't. Did I just pass?
Yeah, I don't believe I can beat you this turn. You have a lot of energy open. I am expecting like Vegeta's Final Flash on the Baby Strike or something like that. And I think on one of my turns, I forgot to play a ape or I got to activate draw apes. Like I forgot to do it on one of my turns. I think it was the end of the last turn. But I did it at the beginning of this turn, which is why there were 2 tapped energy. And also, I don't think I charged here. I think I stayed at 5. There's really almost no reason to go to 6 in this deck.
So the reason why, okay, so I did that for 2 reasons. I forgot the double strike was given to the card by the unison. So I was like, oh, let me just do this and then try to bait out whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'll just Zamasu that. And then you play a Booney, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just rinse and repeat.
Yep.
I'd just like to give a shout out to the dude who just texted the number that you seen at the beginning of this video and just sent me a dick pic.
Did he really?
Yeah, straight up. That's Dick.
All right.
Wow.
Oh.
I Final Flashed your Booney, so you couldn't activate the thing to get extra energy restood, and you just KO my blocker. That hurts, man.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm just trying to provide some pressure. I'm trying to make you waste resources. This isn't really costing me anything to go through these steps, so I'm just doing what I can.
So there I debate about negating. And I think I ended up saying, okay, well, let's just see what you could do. And I think you leave it at that. If I don't negate, I don't think you combo.
I wouldn't have comboed. because I'm just expecting you to combo out of
This
it.
is me trying to cheat by accident. Sorry.
It's okay. Bancroft's a cheater. It's okay. Oh, I did combo a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at all those draw apes.
Look at all that money on the table right now.
So
They
ever
gone
seen
down.
anybody
They're about-
combo with a car payment?
They're about $80 a piece now.
So we got tournament pack trunks, 2 Aboonies, some SPR Gogetas.
All right, real quick.
Is that a foil Nimbus?
It is, and I want to point this out. At this point, I realize even if I could drag the game out for maybe another turn or two, but ultimately I was going to lose. I learned that at that moment. That's why I charged Nimbus.
Yep.
I could have charged any other card, but instead I chose to charge Nimbus. Because I realized I knew you had Hatch still. There's no way you hadn't seen it by this point.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, so my goal at this point is to just play the cute game and basically go until I resource you out. You're eventually going to run out of Nimbus. You're eventually going to run out of Time Magics.
Yeah.
You're eventually going to run out of Vegeta Final Flash. And I'm eventually going to get a triple strike in on you.
Well,
So,
I
like-
mean, yeah. So here I played the Unison. Get 2 more battle cards on the field this way. No, I think I just do -2.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that you do. Because I feel pressured in this next turn that I only have 1 battle card swing, if I'm not mistaken.
And truth be told, like I said, I could have charged something else. Hang on to the Nimbus. Use the Nimbus against you instead. And then just hopefully combo it out of the next attack, you know?
Yep.
But, I mean, look at that battlefield. All those tokens, you could combo with those. You could combo with the Abuni. I mean, you have plenty of combo power for whatever card I can't negate.
Yep.
And I didn't have enough energy for yada yada. And there's
And this
you.
is
Yeah.
this is the 3rd resolution of a baby this turn. So it's like, okay, I'm cool with that. And I don't think you negated here. So
No, I didn't. And I can't remember if I had Time Magic or not in my hand. I just, there's no point at this point. I realize we've been going for like 30-ish minutes. We're pushing that time limit. I didn't want our judge to be a jerk and just call a draw on us so he could win the event. So,
you
hey,
turned
judge.
off. You were like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna turn off something, and so you turned off a token. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that sucks. I hate having blank tokens, and then I get the Abuni swing in comboing the tokens, and you were like, they have combo power. Yes,
yeah,
they do.
I'm not used to, like, I play ghost tokens, you know, when I play Gotenks.
Yeah, they're inferior.
Exactly. So, and there I was like, I had this also in my hand, but it wouldn't have been enough, you know? Like, none of those was enough. And there were my Higher Dragons at the bottom of my deck.
And right before this, Bancroft calls me over. He says, "Hey, I got this next turn on Fluff," and I was like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" And he just showed me his hand, and I knew it was over at that point.
I was just trolling. Like, Fluff had it. Like, I realized that by once I couldn't do anything after turn 4, and he had to play Hatchek, I'm like, I can't get a win. So, sure, say I threw the game, but I was gonna lose anyways. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Like, it was a good deck, and that deck's not where I think it needs to be.
no, there's
Like-
still more changes to it. Now, I actually like
Yeah.
Jimmy's idea, which we'll get into later, but splashing in instead of using Zamasu used Dr. Jiro
Mm-hmm.
and arrivaling the 18 and Krillin to the board for Xenocell plays.
I also really, really like, because of a lot of the stuff that's in that deck, I really like the Universe 3 package. No, Universe 2.
Yeah.
I like the Universe 2 package.
Yeah.
So throwing in the dogs and being able to rest mode.
Which
That's
Yeah.
Universe 9, isn't it?
yes,
Yes, it is Universe
Yeah,
9, sorry.
which is another approach for that deck. But that is our time for today. Just want to say thank you all for joining us. Like always, if you haven't already, hit that like, subscribe button. And like you heard earlier, if you want to chat us up, there's a text at the very beginning of this video. You can send Jimmy anything you want to ask him about the game, or apparently a dick pic that happened today.
Don't send me
Maybe
dick
don't.
pics.
Yeah.
Don't,
I mean,
I you can send me pictures, but not of your dick. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, hey, nice dick, bro. But you know, you can send that Bancroft way. That's not that ain't mine.
no, send it my way.
Yeah,
Like-
send it Fluff's way. I didn't want to
like-
call out Fluff and say, he likes looking at dick pics, but yeah, send it to Fluff.
I mean, I don't really like it, but I'm gonna take it as you're totally interested in me if you do that.
I was flattered that somebody would want to show me that, that they were so interested in, so inclined to show me that.
I wonder
Was
if
there
it was
good lighting?
Hey, if it was,
It was great lighting. It was actually a very detailed photo.
and
Good.
if you're listening to this video at this point, and it was you that did that, put it in the comments down below. Let us know. I'm sure Jimmy.
Yeah, so we
would-
can report you.
Yes, we can ban your ass.
And you better hope that you're not from Texas because it's a felony there.
It actually is, and or hope that one of us is in Texas right now. Jimmy,
Yeah.
where are
Anybody want
you?
to go to Texas?
I mean, I was supposed to be in Texas, but I'm
So-
not.
But with that all being said, thank you for tuning in. Fluff, you want to let us out? Actually, hang on. Sorry, hang on. Jake, anything to say first?
I have no idea when this video is coming out.
Tuesday, the 3rd.
Tuesday, the 3rd. Remember to vote.
You're getting pretty close if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
If you haven't voted, you look like a dick pic. If it burns when you pee, it's probably the clap.
And Fluff, would you lead us out, please?
I would be honored. Hey, make sure to always read your cards, know your plays. Like always, stop sending dick pics. It's rude. Fluff out.